And as usual, um, like this video because we're going to be saying lots of things. I'm going to be revealing lots of things here that are very important for you to know and then also to. So please like this video, share social media platforms, and at the same time, also please click the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to this channel because it is important that this channel goes far for people to get the truth at all times. It takes you just click the subscribe button and suddenly you will see that we'll things I want to reveal today in this particular broadcast. It's very, very important. I've been observing so many things happening all over, the world today, and these things are very, very concerning, especially for those people who is in fact. Now, most of us are living our lives like we don't have tomorrow, like we don't know what's going on, like nothing is happening, like every day is just like anytime it's the sun comes out, then later it becomes dark, we go to sleep, and the next day again we're out. We're living our lives as if things are normal because to us we have no special designs, special programs, or special against anybody in anything. So we are thinking of how we're going to resume the work the next day, go to work, feed our families, and do the things we have to do, hustle for ourselves. And not everybody is thinking that way. There are people who are thinking of destroying you just because you are an obstacle to them getting more than they desire, they want, or more than what. Sorry about the network problem. I think I don't know why it just tripped off. You know, where do I begin from? But I'm going to begin from somewhere. Let me begin with the issue of Mazen Namdekano. Today we know that Mazen Namdekano's case is already ongoing and it has been adjourned to. Let me check the date again. I think I can't remember the dates. Um, some of you might still remember, but for the sake of those who don't remember, let me check it out. I've forgotten. Let me check it out again. The dates has been of May. That means this month, Mazen Namdekan will be appearing on the 14th. The 14th should be this week. 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe on Wednesday or so, and then 22nd and 21st and 22nd. So let's see what goes on with that. But I want you to understand something about Mazen Namdekano. For Mazen Namdekano to have been there this long, you should know that he's resilient. He's not giving in. He's not accepting anything less than what he has stood for. And for him to be this long being tried and witnesses brought against him, the British not talking about him, everybody quiet about him. Whenever the West is quiet about you, the West is not doing anything. Whenever the West is against you, not when you are in trouble and they are not asking for you to be free, they are not, you know, demanding that you be released. Whenever you are in trouble and they are quiet, just know that you're on the right path. And I want you to also note this, that the reason why you see the West talking about Torre of Burkina Faso is because he's on the right path. If he wasn't on the right path, he will not be talked about as being a threat. They will not mention him as being a problem. They will not set up an African just like they set up an African against Gaddafi, who is Obama. They will not set up another African who is in charge of the AFRICOM, whatever they call that nonsense they said is for Africa, Africa security. I don't know when they now want to be the ones to guard us and be our security. Now, I want you to observe this. From this now, I want to go to the points I want to make. Now, note this. Whenever you find the West creating an organization or creating an agency or an institution to or in guise that they want to help you solve a problem, just know that the problem is that you are having a means of making something out of that way, that path, and so they want to block it. Let me give you an instance. The reason why you have IMF, World Bank, and other financial institutions that are loaning monies to Africa, it is not because they want to help Africa solve their problems. Please, I'm getting somewhere because I'm going to make lots of revelation to you today. Just keep in touch with me. Just hang on. They are not trying to help Africa solve its problem, financial problems. No, they are not interested in your survival. In fact, they are very much concerned about you making progress. So when you find things like World Bank, IMF, and other institutions coming to loan you money, just know that they destroy your economy. That is it. Now, when you hear of them talking about peacekeeping into your territory, just know they're trying to help you solve insecurity. They are only trying to help to destabilize and control your security. That's what they want to do. And so what they do is they bring in the problems of financial shortage. I'm going to IMF and other things now, right now. They create the problems for you. They create the financial shortages. They create the problems. And then they now bring the solutions in guise of IMF and other financial institutions. Now, how do they create the problems? They make sure that they buy your natural resources very low, at a very low price. They have made you believe that they are the ones who can refine it and give you better products. They use your lithium, your uranium, and all of that for energy and other things. They use your gold. They use your the raw materials we have in Africa. They're natural resources. They make us believe that we don't have the capacity to actually refine them or make them into finished goods in Africa. So we have to move them to their place, and then they're going to make it. For instance, they take your cocoa, just ordinary cocoa. We cannot even refine these things and sell refined goods to them. Rather, we give them raw cocoa, very cheap. Now, when they take these things, they sell them very cheap to you, and then you have to buy the refined products from these same things you sold cheap to them, and you buy them 10 times, 20 times more than the, or even 50 times, 100 times more than the price of the raw materials you sold to them. So when you buy it from them, very expensive, and they have sold to you, remember, they own the currency that they are using to sell this things to you, the dollar. You buy in their currency. So they regulate your own currency value using their own currency. Now they sell these things to you in a very low price. Then they now sell it to you in a very 100 times more than, or even 500 times, sometimes 1,000 times more than the price you bought from them. Now remember, the money you already have that they gave it to you to buy the raw materials from you is low, but you have to use stuff to the finished goods from them. That means you will not have enough because the money in which they paid you for the raw materials is low. So now they now use the excesses they get from you based on the fact that you got low from them. The excesses now are now used to set up these banks and these financial institutions. Now, these financial institutions now will now come and offer you loan. Okay, we have bought these finished goods from you. You have to buy them. Oh, the money you have is not enough, right? Okay, we're going to loan you money to buy these things. Then they give you money in their currency, dollars. They give it to you, and then you buy from them. And then they give you terms and conditions that would stifle your economy so that you will continue to be indebted to them. Have you asked yourself why people go to, why a president, for instance, whose tenure is 4 years, goes to collect loan um, or go into financial deals that will impoverish his nation the next 50 years, that you'll be paying back in the next 50 years? You have 4 years in your tenure. You go to collect loan, or you go to put your country in a situation where they're in a quagmire for years. Even after your tenure, they're going to be paying loans and paying debts. Have you asked yourself why all this stuff are like that? Now, these are the things the international community are doing. Now, another thing they do is they sponsor the terrorists. Of course, you know that they sponsor terrorism. They sponsor Boko Haram and other ISIS and all of that. I'm going to play a particular video to you where one of them was confessing. They were asking him the question, are you aware that America is funding terrorism? And he said, he mentioned the place, he mentioned it very well. He said, yes, we are funding them. We're giving them monies. We're giving them direct and indirect funding. Now, all they need to do is to make your place very restive. That means you are always terrorized. And then they talk about the insecurity, and then they come on the platform of the UN and they say these people are being terrorized. Let's send peacekeepers. Let's send people to help them. And then they send their military to control your military. So now, colonially, they have taken over you financially by giving you loans. Now, this time around again, they are now bringing in their military, controlling your military. And so they know everything about your security and all of that. So they have taken control of your power, your military strength, your economy, these two basic things. And then the strategy now, knowing that the social, now look at this part of it now. That's where the interesting thing is. This is where we have the interesting aspect of the whole thing. Now, I'm gonna show you a particular picture, that really dazed me when I saw it on X, you know, dazed me and all of that. I'm going to show you this particular picture. Now, you should understand something, that the quest to destroy Africa. Now, remember, the issue of revolution has been all over Africa, right? Am I correct? Now, what Burkina Faso is doing today is like, wow. Burkina Faso is leading the front for Africanism, Pan-Africanism, and let me tell you something. So most of you don't understand that Torre got this from Thomas Sankara, people like Thomas Sankara, and people like Jerry John Rawlings. The reason why, see, let me tell you something. Most of you know that Rawlings is dead, right? Jerry John Rawlings of Ghana, the former president of Ghana. You know he's dead. But the truth about it is that they told us that his death was of COVID. But from Intel, there are more to the death of Jerry John Rawlings of Ghana. Jerry John Rawlings of Ghana wanted a swift change. He was going the way of Sankara and Nkrumah. He wanted to change the system. He wanted to restore economic power. He did so many things to change the narrative in Ghana. And suddenly, they knew that his continuous living or his continual existence would be a problem to the colonial control. So they took him out. Now, it will surprise you that as soon as he was brought to Kolebu Hospital in Ghana, and then there were 4 nurses taking care of him. As soon as he died, the 4 nurses were taken away. They were flown abroad for asylum. The 4 nurses who were taking care of Jerry John Rawlings were taken abroad. Now, what does that tell you? These people have mastered the art of making sure that they silence those who are going to curse Africa. Let me tell you something. The plan on Touareg's life is so intense. Any little thing, he might be executed. Let me tell you something. You see, Touareg of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, who is doing the great things right now, is in serious danger. Very, very much serious danger. Now, most of you have heard also that over 16 or so to 20 attempts on his life. Now, the reason why he's still alive is because of Russia and China and North Korea. Traoré is in serious. The mistake people like Sankara made and Nkrumah made, like Jerry John Rawlings made, was that they didn't, first of all, go partner with Russia to be able to get themselves secured before going in this suicidal mission of thinking of Africa, or transforming the lives of the Africans, or bringing back Africa to real independence. Real independence. The reason why they were able to be, the West was able to eliminate them, was because they didn't really think very quickly in that regard. But Traoré is alive today. Let me tell you, he would have been dead a long time ago. He's alive today because he is strongly connected to Russia. Strongly connected to Russia. Now look at what they are doing right now. Because let me tell you, when you see the colonial masters, it's just like when they want to produce vaccines. Remember, medically, we're also in trouble. Because now they tell us that our natural. Have you observed something? Yes, we're not doubting the Christ, right? But the truth about it is that they worship, our ancestors too were worshiping God. Nobody can tell us they were not worshiping God. They were worshiping God. Those ones who were pure. So what they did was to tell us that our ancestors were evil. And then they knew the power in our ancestral worship, because we were truly worshiping God. Our ancestors were truly worshiping God, I tell you. That is why people could not easily do evil. Don't you see that these days with the Bible you can do evil and get away with it? What they did was they hijacked the worship centers, took some of the artifacts and all of that, took to their museum and put them there. And then they made us powerless. They now gave us the Bible. I'm not saying the Bible is not real, but the truth about it is that even with that, our ancestors had a connection with God, a direct connection. And so what they did was to make us powerless, where our words no more count. And so once you went against your traditions and culture, I'm not talking about worshiping of demons, no. I'm talking about worshiping of Chukwuki, God, of who created heaven and earth. Our ancestors were worshiping God. God was talking to them. So now they were able to succeed in dealing with our ancestors in that regard. Now listen, whenever they are going to deal with you, what they do is this: they look at what you are doing. This is the strategy they are using now. I'm going to show you examples of the things I'm talking about now. They look at the strategy. For instance, let me give you the example from the vaccines. Did you know that to make a vaccine, you need a prototype of the disease that you want to treat as a medicine inside of the vaccine to be able to treat? That means if you want to treat, if you want to have an anti, you want to have vaccine, or you want to have a vaccine for snake bite, you have to get the venom from the snake to use as a means of creating that. When the COVID thing came in, which they use as a means of killing us, wanted to kill Africa. They thought Africans would be dead very quickly. They thought they were going to destabilize us and kill, whereas they were the ones who died more. They take a part of the COVID virus, they take the virus and then use it to create a vaccine. Now, so vaccines are product of the actual sickness that are weakened with other chemicals and then used to create the medicine to treat that particular illness. That's what they do. So now look at it. This is also the strategy they are using now, knowing that Africans are waking up very quickly. Now, what Toure of Burkina Faso, the Mali government, the Malian government, and the Nigerian government are doing now is a huge threat to Western control, and they know that they are at the brink of losing Africa. Let me tell you something: Africa will be liberated, and you see, the West, Africa will become the superpower of the world. Just watch it. Just watch it. Chukwuki will keep us alive. Africa is going to be a superpower, both in culture, tradition, and in every other thing. We're going to be superpowers. Now look at it. They give us, this strategy to follow, and then they use it against us. Now let's look at it. Let's look at it critically. Burkina Faso right now is doing better than before. Niger is making more than before. France has been destabilized. Britain don't want to lose Nigeria. They don't want to lose Ghana. They don't want to lose Cote d'Ivoire and other places. They want to keep us continually down. But they know that they cannot come with force, because every time they have come with force, they always have problems. And for everything to look like normal, all they need to do now is and that's what they are doing now, is to use what we are using as our strategy against us. That's what they are doing now. Now, let me give you an example. We have been talking about, most of our people have been talking about Pan-Africanism, right? Pan-Africanism. Did you know that now it is even the British, the US man, the American, the German, or the European generally, that are now fronting Pan-Africanism more than us? They have used their people now to begin to talk about Pan-Africanism, to make it sound and tilt it towards what they want us to think about Pan-Africanism. I don't know whether you understand me. We've been having lots of lectures all over Africa. We see, if you go to the social media, you see lots of Americans, Europeans and all of that, doing videos talking about African liberation, trying to make you understand that Africa must be free and all of that. They are trying to give us an impression that they really need Africa to be free. And what they are now doing is that they are now talking about Africa coming together, but they are doing it in a way to corrupt the process, not to really make Africa free. Because they know that is what we are looking for now. They know we are talking about Africa freedom. So what they want to do is that they want to corrupt the system. Now let me show you one particular picture that I saw on the net. Now this particular picture has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guests, 7 good guests, 7 guests. They call it provisional poster. They now wrote Pan-African Conference on Family Values. Now remember, to build any nation, you begin with the family, right? Which means that if individually we have our families and we are being indoctrinated on the nature of our culture, on the issue of our nation and all of that. That is why in Igbo land, the value of cultural application and all of that is transferred from parents to children. You inherit what your father has, you inherit what your great grandfather has. So it goes from generation to generation. The culture, the values, the things that your father used to do and all of that, you learn it from your father, and then it is passed on. So they understand the value of families in building a nation or a people. So what they are now doing is that they have now brought Pan-Africanism into the narrative. And now look at the topic, Pan-African Conference on Family Values. Now what does an American or a German or a Briton or a European want to tell you and I about our culture and our family values? What do they want to tell you and I that are the Africans? They want to tell us about our family. But look at it. All of them are no African here. They are from Germany, from Europe, from America, from Europe and America. Look at them. And they are organizing, no African, they are organizing project, and they are calling it Pan-African Conference on Family Values. What do they know about our culture and tradition? What do they know about it? Now, they want to speak to us on family values regarding Africa as a people. So now they know that we are now yearning for one Africa, which is Kabulan is supposed to be the name anyways, but for now, the colonial name is still Africa. They know that we are yearning now for togetherness, for everybody to be together. They know we are talking about togetherness now. They know we are talking about Africa and building a front. We don't want borders in Africa. We don't want anybody to take visa to go to any African nation. We don't want any trade restriction. You can move on, drive from here, you drive from where you are, go to Africa, move on. Or you go to Libya, or you go to Morocco, or you go anywhere without visa. We want to do business. You want to get your goods, you can put your goods in your vehicle, travel to another state, travel to Ivory Coast, and sell your product without anybody disturbing you. That's these things we want. We want to build one Africa. We want to have an African currency, not the dollar controlling us. Because the value that our currencies, now we have about 54 currencies in Africa today. All of them worthless. All of them bow before the dollar. Because without the dollar, none of them would be strong enough. Now, they are the ones who print these things and send to us still. They are the ones who print it. You don't know that the monies are being printed from abroad? To buy our own product. They use their own currency. Their own currency. They should be killed. A currency that the resources that we have determines the value. We have gold. We have, what don't we have? If we have one currency, and that currency is determined by the value of our resources, my God, we are number one in the world. We are number one in the world. We are number one in the world. That is what they don't want. Now look at it. They want to hold Pan-African conference on family values, and the people who are going to talk about African values or family values are people. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to recreate, redesign, reconstruct, re, 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 reformat our brains so that the family values we'll be looking at would be their own idea, just like they have given us their own idea of education, which is killing us today. Have you seen them bring any science book that they did and translate it into your language? Have you seen that before? Have you seen them bring any science book, any book that talks about growth and development and all of that, or economics or government and all of that, and translate it to your language so that you can learn in your schools? They don't do that. But the Bible is translated there because they know that through religion. Now, the reason why they brought the Bible is not to give information about God, is to religiously capture our minds, put us under the bondage of religion. That does not mean that the Bible does not contain God's will and God's plan, because in every generation there is God's will and God's plan in people and in every tribe, nation, and tongue. But the purpose of putting that together is to get us locked up in the confines of religiosity so that we would continue to serve them. So that we'll continue to serve them. So what these ones now want to reformat our minds. They want to give us knowledge about family in the context of Pan-Africanism, based on what they want us to think about family under Pan-Africanism. So which means they want to use what we are doing they want to corrupt it to control us still. So we'll be going around talking about Pan-Africanism. Then when you see a white man come in, or one fair colored skin man come in to, oh, I believe in Pan-Africanism, come, I want to tell you some things about Pan-Africanism. Because his skin is white, we want to go and listen to him. If you put two conferences here now, one conference, a black man, is organizing it. And then another one, the white man is organizing it. And two of them are talking about Pan-Africanism. More people will go and listen to the white man than the black man. Today they have given, now look at what they are doing religiously. Do you know, when you go to the Catholic Church or other places where they have this image of the Christ, they put one white man on the cross. One white man on the cross. But in reality, we know that there were no whites of that kind of color in those days. And so even in Israel, the Christ himself was not that white. But won't give you the picture. To keep us, we're talking about Pan-African, One Africa, we want to be free, truly free. Let me tell you something. You see this freedom that Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali has started. It will spread fast. It will spread. You see the way Nigeria is. Just watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen. You see, as I'm talking to you right now, Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, other places, things are happening on the ground that most of us don't know. Things are happening on the ground, and the revolution will be so. Some of them will be bloody. Definitely it will be bloody. Some of them will be very, very bloody. And I tell you, it's not going to be easy. But I want you to prepare your mind. And please, don't patronize any kind of Pan-Africanism workshop or program being organized by a white man. They are not deaf to. They can never. Nobody who has your property, who has power over you, would want you to overpower them. No, when they know that you have what it takes to overpower them. Nobody. The West know that we have what it takes to overpower them. They can never give you that opportunity, that privilege. Rather, they want to corrupt what you have, just like they use prototype of any virus to create the vaccine. The same way also they want to use what we are talking about, Pan-Africanism. They want to use it now to corrupt us, to corrupt what we are planning as Africans. So they now begin to organize programs, call it Pan-African culture, family value. So that we now begin to create doctrines, create narratives, create scriptures, create ideology out of what we are talking about in their own way, so that when we now begin to look at Pan-Africanism, we begin to look at it in their own eyes, in the way they reason, in the way they want us to reason. That's what they are trying to do. Very dangerous strategy. They know that going brutal, coming with bombs and all of that will not solve the problems, because now we are ready for guerrilla warfare. Africans will go into the bush. How would you defeat a guerrilla army? Your men will come into the field, right? Your men will come into the system. You send your foot soldiers. You can bomb from air. You keep bombing and bombing, but you send your foot soldiers. They will not survive. So how are you going to? You can't kill everybody. Or do you want to throw nuclear weapons? Throw nuclear weapons. So they know that lots of things will go wrong if they come militarily to destabilize, just like they are trying to sell that idea to us about Torre. They now use an African, just like they use an African against Gaddafi, Obama, an African against Gaddafi. They are also using one Lampe, or whatever his name is, Lampley or something, who is an African. We don't need African. Who is organizing African? America. Why do you organize African for us? We have military. We have our military. If you want to solve our problems, don't create the militant and the terrorist or the terrorism, and then you want to give us solutions. That's what they are doing. So they want to create the solutions for you by creating the problems. Now they want to give us a pattern or a narrative of what Pan-Africanism should be. So they will now organize programs like this. How can white men come to organize Pan-African program for us to tell us how to be stronger than them? And then it is 7 white men also, no African, telling us about family values. What do they know about African family values? They think this is LGBTQ class. They think Africa is about LGBTQ. What would they talk about Africa here? What do they know about the family values of Africa? For God's sake. This is what they are doing. Now, another idea they're using here is they want to begin to front their stooges, those ones who are their stooges. So they will bring the picture of people like Torre, who is doing great things, and then they will bring the picture of somebody like the Senegalese government and president, and other people who are their stooges, who are still operating in the colonial mindset. They will bring their pictures and put them together and say these are Africa liberators. So you begin to think, oh, so these ones too are thinking of liberating Africa. So these ones too are thinking of positive. Never. It's a lie. It's a big lie. Now let me show you a picture here. This one, they brought Ibrahim Traore of Niger Republic, of Burkina Faso. Then they brought Mali, Assemi Gota of Mali. Then they brought the Niger president, Tiani. Is that Tiani? I always know, because the other one is too long. They brought them together. One Faye of added Gabon, one Nguema of Gabon, the president of Gabon. Then they added Guinea Conakry, Mamadi. They now put them together and say New Africa Spirit. Look at it. Look at it. So that you will begin now to see even their colonial stooges, those stooges they are using, those who are fronting, who are pro-Western, who are pro-colonial. Please, sorry about that network problem. They want you now to think that these ones too are also on the path of true Africa liberation. So they add them in pictures. What they are going to be doing now, add in pictures. Traore of Burkina Faso to Niger to Mali. Very soon, maybe they will, and then they will bring all these Sahel presidents who are not yet thinking straight. They will put them, all of them there, and begin to think that, oh, they are all now beginning to think Africa. But that's a lie. And let me tell you something. Once they are not talking about your regime being corrupt and the need for you to be taken out so that they can help liberate your country, just know that once they are not doing that, just know that that person there is for them. The reason why you know that Burkina Faso is not still for France is because they are now talking about taking him off, and that he is now a danger to democracy. Once they begin to talk about you as danger to democracy, just know that that country is actually going away from them. Have they mentioned upon all the crimes being committed in Nigeria by Tinubu and the crimes committed by Buhari, including what they are doing to Mazen and Kanu? Have you heard them to say that Tinubu is a danger or Buhari was a danger to democracy? Look at how the food supplies, hunger everywhere, and all of that. Have you heard them say that these people are a danger to democracy? Look at SARS harvesting organs, killing people. Then, when people were protesting against SARS, they came to kill the people. Did you hear UK or Europe or America or any other part of the world saying that, the West, anyways, basically the West? Did you hear them say that the government of Nigeria is a threat to democracy? Did you hear that? If you want to know who is doing right in Africa, just look at the people the West is not supporting. Then you'll know who is trying to liberate Africa. That's why Traoré today is number one enemy to them. They do anything to kill him, if not for Russia protection. And I want to encourage people in all of Africa, please, I want you to understand that the season of change has come in Africa. You see these two strategies I just mentioned to you now, bringing the pictures, very dangerous strategies to confuse you of who truly is fighting for freedom. So you would think that every other person who is the president of their country, because their pictures are with Traoré, they are now fighting for freedom. No, that's not true. It is a plan. Like I told you, that when they want to cure a virus, they bring that prototype of the virus to create their vaccine. The same way also, when they see what we are doing, they want to bring in their people to do it the way we are doing it, to make us think that that is actually the right thing to do. It's a strategy. It's a very dangerous strategy, a very cunning strategy. Look at people who want to tell us about, family values as regards to Pan-Africanism. Look at them. From America, from Germany, from UK, Poland. One is from Poland. Imagine the people who want to tell us about Pan-Africanism and family values. Imagine. So we are in dangerous times. And let me tell you something. As I said when I began, Africa will be liberated. Africa will be liberated. Africa will be liberated. And there's a particular video I want to show you so that you can understand better the things that are happening. Honestly, when I listened to this video, it was shocking. Let me see. Okay, that's not. Okay, that's. Let me see if I can see it very quickly, because I think it's a while I listened to that video, but I want to see if I can play it here now first. Oh, it's so like noise. Now this video is very, very critical and important. It has to do with the sponsorship of terrorism in Africa. Very, very important video that I want you to watch. I pray I see it quickly here. I pray I see it quickly here. I don't know. I pray I see it quickly here because if I knew I would have looked for it. But if I don't see it now anyways, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look for it quickly and keep it until the next time I'm going to be coming. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully, by God's grace. I'm going to play it to us so that we can listen to it. Very, very, very critical. The man confessed and said, yes, we actually are, are sponsoring terrorism in Africa. It was said here. So I'm going to look for the video. I don't know where I actually saved it. I have so many videos, but where I'm going to, Now the problem is so terrible now. Now you see, we saw a particular video where Air Peace is trying to airlift, people from Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire. I think Ivory Coast, yes. Back to the contraption called Nigeria. Now these are young girls. Now, as I was listening to that story, the pain in my heart was so heavy. They're paying him. Now, maybe I'm going to play the video so that you will listen to the video and hear what it is. Now, except we become liberated, we are still going to be in danger of death in different ways. Our girls these days, now this will take me to another teaching. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to talk about family values because of this. The family values in line with Pan-Africanism. Just like this man, these people are trying to do something like that to corrupt what we're talking about. We're going to begin to preach those languages, preach those teaching, and preach those topics so that we'll begin to tell the right thing to our people. Now, our families have become destroyed because of Western ways of life. Most of our people who have traveled abroad came back with rubbish. They went there to learn rubbish. They didn't go to, yes, there's nothing wrong with going to look for means of survival based on the fact that everywhere there's problems. But when you go there and import rubbish attitude, rubbish characters, bring foreign things into our culture and our tradition, our cultural operations and our family values, you are a threat and you are a stooge, an instrument of Western destruction. That's what you are. Now look, some of them are even pregnant. They didn't know that they were being taken to because what did they tell them? Because the colonial masters have messed our economy, destroyed our families, disrupted our thinking, messed up with our minds and everything. Our young girls, our young men are being misled and deceived to take that they are going to abroad for better opportunities, whereas there's no better opportunity anywhere. There's no better opportunity anywhere other than your place. And if you are not thinking of returning to those of you in the West, if you're not thinking of returning, let's fix our places, our communities, our hometowns, and all of that. You are just doing yourself a disservice. If you think that because you are in America or wherever you are wearing jeans and sagging and making some money, giving almost all the money to tax, and then having food to eat and enjoying yourself, at least good roads and all of that stuff. You think you're enjoying all of those stuff, and you think that that's the best place to be. You are deceiving yourself, because Africa is the best place to be. Your hometown is the best place to be. Biafra land is the best place to be. Now look at what they did to these our girls. Now let me play this so that you can understand what I'm saying. I'll play it and then I'll end today's talk, and then I'll continue tomorrow with family values also. Now listen.
Right, so we are with some of our sisters that are going to be coming back to Nigeria on the Eastern half. I'm going to represent from the Nigerian community here. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Chief Davidson Ogu.
Okay.
The public relation officer of the Nigerian community.
So these girls are going back to Nigeria?
Yeah, they're going. And my president,
okay.
Yeah, I would like you to meet him. He's the President General of Nigerians and Cotonou.
So can you really tell us what's the count? How many girls are going home? What really transpires with most of these girls? And their notice that was started. We should bring them back home.
As you know, most of them were trafficked and they are victims of trafficking. And being the Nigerians here, we are doing all we can, to rescue them and to, see how we can bring them back to Nigeria. So that the government in Nigeria, we're looking forward for them to see how they can do one or two empowerment for them, because they are victims, like you see.
So is there any message the Nigerian community here in Abidjan has for others that might be back home, that people might be enticing with such opportunity and all of that?
The truth is that a lot of them have been lured by hyper-pay job, and there's nothing like hyper-pay job anywhere. Even in America, Europe, nothing like hyper-pay job. People will tell you, come, you work in a restaurant, they'll pay you $5,000. It doesn't exist anywhere. So when we are telling our young girls and young boys, they should be very, very mindful of who they go with. Most of these girls were actually kidnapped, adopted from schools, like some of them are crying there. They didn't even know how they get here. They never knew they were coming to this place. So they were deceived. So that's the situation. We are also parents should also educate their parents and the government too. they need to do more. If Nigeria was, what we expected of it, many of these girls will not come here. They're actually suffering. Look at them. Many of them are very sick.
I think one or two of them are pregnant already.
Yeah, many are pregnant. Some are even having children. So it's such a appalling situation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Fari.
Now, this is the situation. I have so many, I know so many young girls from our place, from Biafra land, being lured and brought in for prostitution, and even in Ghana, Port Novo, Benin, Togo, and other places. This is a malaise. That's why there's a need to talk about family values. People have seen that we have a problem. These Americans and all want to connect it to Pan-Africanism and begin to lecture us in to begin to have their kind of thoughts, their thought process, and their own kind of reason and their own kind of narrative, how they want us to understand family values in as regards to the kind of Africa we want, so they can keep us where we are, but we're going to beat them. We are smarter than them. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Please share this video on all your social media platforms. Let people get this information. They need to understand what is happening. It is important that we also like these kinds of videos and also subscribe to this channel network, because when the channel becomes more open to more people, it is revealed to more people. People will see it better. It will open up. The YouTube will spread it better because it has much subscription, and so it will help people to come to know what we need to do against to be free and to do the right thing. And it's in your hands to help us achieve this. It is very, very important. We are here for the truth. We are here to circulate the truth. We are here to make sure that we send the information that would save us from the colonial stranglehold and colonial control, so that we can think right, we can do right, and we can walk right, and of course achieve right. It is important. And I want you also to put Mazen Amkan in your prayers and be hopeful. Let's keep talking about him. Let's keep mentioning him. I keep posting almost every day talking about him and mentioning things about him to make sure that people know that we are still, we're expecting him to be out very soon. And that's what we're standing on. And we believe that's going to happen. So please share this broadcast, share it far and wide on all your social media platforms, and also like this video and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and God bless you very good.